So 1,000 will be Poki. Okay. So Poki is also one of the super popular streamers on Twitch. Very successful. She plays E4. We'll play Sicilian. Let's play Alhekine. Alhekine's defense. E5 is actually the correct move. Okay. So we reached 1,000. So actually, okay. She's playing decent chess. So yeah. The Alhekine's defense is an opening where black decides to go crazy, and then you take some space in the center, but then black is going to counter attack. It's going to attack that pawn chain. C4 is okay. I'm impressed with this high opening. Wow, I'm very impressed. This is actually all very correct. So okay, I'm sure she's going to start going wrong. So yeah, in general, it can be difficult to maintain the pawn structure once you start breaking with like d6 and a possible c5, knight c6. So one of the theoretically approved lines is to momentarily take on d6 as white, and then just try and maintain these pawns in the center, go for quick development, which is what she's doing here. Though bishop g5 isn't exactly typical, but I'm impressed with what I've seen so far. So we'll play g6. We'll put our bishop on g7. We'll castle quickly. Okay, so she just moved. So opening principles, right? Someone forget them. Three things: develop quickly. So you want to develop your pieces. Because you want to develop your pieces quickly, it doesn't make sense to move a piece more than once in the opening. But then this bishop came to g5, and then exactly a move later went back to f4. Whereas there are like 5 pieces that are still at home waiting to get developed, right? So you don't want to do this. Develop every piece once, castle early, take your first shell the center, and then go on and play the middle game, looking out for tactics, because at the end of the day, that is how your game will end at this level. Full stop. So I'll put my knight on c6, put some pressure on this d4 pawn, and the bishop moves a third time in the opening. I'll put my bishop on f5, hit the queen. You always want to not develop your queen all too quickly, because that's also one of the queen is very easily attacked. So whenever it's developed that quickly, it basically just becomes a target. We'll just castle here. Oof. Again with the knights to the rim moves. I mean, knight f3 makes a whole lot more sense. I'm tempted to take, but let me just play d. Yeah, let me play this one. And then let me take here. Take back pawns, okay? Take back pawns at this level. So we'll take here, we'll put our queen on d5. Hitting this guy. Oh, she sees it. Okay, she's not too bad, I guess. And then we'll hit the queen. Also attacking this one. Okay, she sees that one too. I guess she's actually not too. I want to play b5. Yeah, why not? So how do we want to finish this? I guess a5. We'll move this knight back and just start pushing these guys. So yeah, both sides have castled in opposite directions in this game. Usually that means that the game will be determined by some sort of kingside attack, because both sides will have free reign to move their pawns towards the opponent's king and try and weaken it and checkmate it. Usually you can't do this when you cast on the same side, or you can, but only in very specific circumstances. It's more difficult to do, much more difficult to do, because as you move your pawns, you're weakening your own king, because I mean the king's on the same side. But whenever you're castled opposite like this, you can just, in general, of course, try and forget about everything else. Just go for the guy's king. I kind of want to sack just to make it a bit more interesting, and then I'll start hitting the queen. Although I probably shouldn't have done that, but she actually isn't too bad. She can spot threats, and so it's not all that easy to win, but I still do expect to manage. I'll play f3. I mean c3 check. And how do I want to continue this attack? Let me put my rook on b. Ooh, but then she has bishop here, which would be my win my knight. Huh. I wonder whether she'll find it. Yeah, let's not gamble though, right? Well, I'm actually not sure what to do now. Rook a6, but that's so ugly. Yeah, also that drops the rook. What am I doing? Let's play queen here. Just step out of that. Okay. So now we can go rook to the b. Let's bring the other rook here. Line everything up against that king. You're going to break with b3 at some point. You just need to decide what point that is. I think now is as good a time as any. And the point of the break was not just to, I mean, you can't win the pawn currently, but then it was to create this square for my knight to come into, right? So now my knight has a square to join the attack. Okay, she already dropped something. I'm wondering whether I want to take it even, because my knight is pretty strong, threatening stuff like this. But let's just take it. I guess e4 is as good a move as any. Oh, but then he had even this one. This one I would take. I'll sack the exchange and take over there. So we have strong pawns here, and the exchange sacrifice is a very useful tool because it's one of the few sacrifices where the number of pieces left will still be the same, right? I mean, after an exchange, like you give up a rook for a piece, and although theoretically the rook is stronger than the pieces, but you still have the same number of pieces. So if you can make one of the other pieces as strong as a rook, you can make up that advantage. So that's what makes it so good sometimes. I'll just start going after the guy's queen. I mean the guy's king, and this is just no, it's not mate just yet. But it's close. We'll check, we'll push, and I mean we're either queening or killing her. So yeah, we are going to check. Okay, so let's just push this pawn and then bring our bishop into c6. Oh, she defends. Yeah, she's actually not playing badly at all, to be fair. Okay, let's go after the bishop h. I guess I could also just go here. The point is that bishop cannot move because of the threat of checkmate here, so I just win the guy. And then take this pawn. Yeah, why not? I guess I probably shouldn't have allowed that. Anyways, we just need to exchange pieces off and win. Let's take that pawn. She also takes a pawn. Okay, let's threaten to checkmate then. Maybe something to defend against. Oh, she was threatening this one. I see. Okay, just king g7 because I am threatening checkmate, so she still needs to respond to my threats. And currently there's no checks. Yeah, so she goes for this, but that's forced a very nice checkmate. Yeah, this is a pretty nice one. So yeah, the queen is stopping me from checkmating this way, but there is a second checkmate that I'm threatening, which is rook c1 check. So when I play rook c1 check, the king has no squares, and so the queen is going to have to take or drop back, and either way that will free up the f2 square for the checkmates. So that's a nice finish. But yeah, that was a lot more difficult than it should have been. But still, basically up to the 1000 level, just don't lose pieces, don't drop pieces. Do your tactics. It will take time, but you will improve in them. And then you will be up material at some point in your game, and when you're up material, just trade down to some sort of easily winning end game, or just take more material. Beyond this point, it's going to get a little more interesting, I guess. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment, drop a like. Happy chessing, and I'll see you later.